This review will be over Casey Jackson. You started off the video saying, growing up, my family did everything they could to keep our heads above water. That instantly caught my attention. This is because in this kind of world that we're in now, we like to use the term, we're fine. It's fine. It's okay. We like to cover up what's actually going on with it's fine. But it's okay to not be fine, and it's okay to be upset when things aren't going the way that you wish they were. And I love how truthful you got into this speech when you talked about being upset because you don't always get to see your dad because he works so much, and that it really isn't okay. It's hard to know that you have these events like birthday stuff going on and he can't always be there. But I love how true you were to yourself on your feelings. As a kid, we don't ever really realize the struggles that our parents go through to make ends meet. And I know personally because my mom would go to work at 7 in the morning and she'd come back a bit after I'd get off of school, around 4-ish, 4:30-ish, and then she'd go back later that evening and she'd go to work again around 7:30, sometimes be done at 9 something. She'd go on weekends to help out and prepare things, and she'd spend like all Sunday. And I never really realized how much time she spent at work away from me and all my stuff. And sometimes she couldn't always make my events because she had work, and I'd be upset just like you are. And when you talk about it's hard when you're going through these big events and they can't always be there, and when you're young you're just like, well, why can't they be there, why aren't they making it work and stuff, and you're confused and you're upset. But as we get older and we start having jobs, we start to realize that it's a lot harder than we think. The things that our parents do for us is incredible, and it takes time for us to realize what they do for us. What really caught my attention in your speech was when you mentioned the struggle between your parents. You had gotten into a fight with your mom, you said, about missing your dad, and then you ended up saying, I hate you, I just want my dad, or I just miss my dad. And she said, me too. When we're kids, sometimes we forget that our parents are just as human as we are, and they're just as capable of missing someone that they love too. It's a relationship that they're in, a husband and a wife, and having great distance between each other and very little time with each other takes a huge toll in relationships. And we're in an age now where we can start to understand you start missing the person you love when you don't hang out with them within a day or so. Or it's hard if you can't always see them if you don't live in the same town. But when you're young, you obviously don't understand that. And you made that very clear, but you also made it clear that now where you're sitting at and the age you're at, you totally get how your mom could be upset and alone during that time when your dad wasn't always there because he was working. And I love how you made so clear that we have to realize that when a parent goes away to work, it's not just the kid it affects their spouses just as much, because we all love our family, and it's all hard to see them not be there as often as we wish they were. I also loved how in your speech you mentioned your tattoo, the little tattoo right here on your wrist. That is a very personal detail, but I think it was important that you mentioned it because it shows that no matter where you are in the world, the people you love are always going to be with you. Yes, not physically, but mentally. And that's something that keeps me tied down. And so I loved how you mentioned that because it reminds me that you don't need to see them all the time to know that they're there. You know that their love for you is going to carry over and be taken with you wherever you go in the world. Whenever you graduate, whenever you get married, whenever you move off, live somewhere else, that as long as you have love, you'll make it out and you'll always find strength to do things with or without the person that you wished could be there for every event. Lastly, I love how you ended your speech. Ending it with a reminder was an incredible strategy. I love how you tell your audience, remember to be thankful for your parents. One day they won't always be there, but the things that they teach you will carry on and be with you forever, for the rest of your life, to help you, because one day the roles will be switched and we'll be parents, and then we start to see it from a whole different end of keeping our family's head above water. Overall, you had a great speech, and I know it was hard and that you could tell that you were ready to cry and just let it all out. But I believe that your emotion just added on and gave so much strength to your speech and overall made it a powerful speech.